Hello everyone, today we have some Sinister Cup battles for you, coming from a local trainer in my community, Bobstabs. This was his first ever Sylph Cup, and it took place in New York about a week ago. His team consists of Garnivore, Steelix, Haunter, Empoleon, Drifblim, and Poliwrath. So let's see how he does. Okay, first round, here we go. We're facing Paul from LIC, and he comes out with Drifblim versus Poliwrath. And the Poliwrath seems to be a legacy, Mudshot Poliwrath. So he's building up to Shadow Ball, goes for the bait with the Ominous Wind, which is still gonna hurt a little bit and possibly get the buff. Switches out the Poliwrath, comes in with the Steelix, still in a pretty decent spot, so he goes to the Shadow Ball. Goes through, and he switches out, comes in with Empoleon, which will counter Steelix. Of course, Empoleon does not want to get hit with an Earthquake. Luckily, he predicts correctly and doesn't, and take the bait of the Crunch. And he's just gonna feint down the Steelix with Waterfall. Almost at a charge move. Poliwrath comes back in, and he hits the Hydro Pump. And this should do a decent amount of damage to Poliwrath, but he blocks it, pretty smart. So we got 2 shields left still. 2 Pokemon. Comes back in with the Drifblim. And this could be a nice punch depending on what this Poliwrath is running. Pretty ballsy not to shield that, but good job. Gets a charge attack off of his own. Ominous Wind, shields it, great, and he gets the buff. And now I would start shielding, definitely, if I got a buffed Drifblim. Yeah, because that still is going to hurt. He's lucky he had that buff, though, because if not, that probably would have killed. Gets another Ominous Wind off, takes out the Poliwrath. And we have 2 shields versus a Slowbro, and a Slowbro versus a Haunter. He should have definitely gone for that Shadow Punch. It probably would have killed. Oh, unfortunate loss there. If he used the 2 shields at some point in that battle, he definitely would have won. But let's see how it goes in the next round. Start off with Haunter versus Steelix. And he's building up to a Shadow Ball. Obviously does not want to get hit with anything Steelix has. Steelix blocks it and returns with a charge move of his own, which is also blocked. Going for another Shadow Ball, which he gets. Very nice. And that'll take out a Steelix for sure. Haunter with so much attack. Drifblim comes in and almost got that Shadow Punch off, which would have been a nice bit of damage for sure. But we're in a pretty good spot here. So his Poliwrath here has a Mudshot, Dynamic Punch, Hydro Pump, which is actually good for the mirror as well, because that Dynamic Punch does a pretty good amount of damage. So he's returning fire with his own Poliwrath, which also has Dynamic Punch. It seems like they're both the same moveset, Hydro Pump and Dynamic Punch. Comes back with one of his own, which in turn is blocked, and he's going to get to 1 more from that built-up energy, which should KO the Poliwrath. Now we have a 2 versus 1 situation, switches out and tanks this charge move right away. Very nice. Might have not been the right call, but let's see. This probably is an Ominous Wind. Oh no, it's a Shadow Ball too. Oh, that's too bad. I think the move there would have been to let the Poliwrath take the Shadow Ball. Well, it would have been hard to say either way. He had about 2 Shadow Balls stored up, so those 2 were dead. Now we got a Poliwrath mirror match here on the 3rd round. Gets the Dynamic Punch first, blocks it, gets his own Dynamic Punch off. Expecting a shield. Yep. So this is interesting. I'm expecting them maybe both burn both shields. It's kind of, now with the CMP changes, it's kind of hard to do that not knowing who has charge move priority. And he opts not to shield, giving him a positive shield advantage, and hopefully shields now, and returns with one of his own. Okay. So, pretty much the same. Oh, gets lucky on that one and gets the dynamic punch off before he can. Very nice. So now, when whatever he comes in with, it'll kill the Poliwrath, and then he'll have the priority to choose a good counter. Doesn't decide to switch. Probably goes with the Earthquake. Yep, that would one-shot the Empoleon pretty easy. And now we're not looking so hot. These crunches are probably gonna hurt Drifloon pretty bad. And I think the move at this point would probably to go for a Shadow Ball. Or, I see, maybe he's just hoping to get the buff. But either way, he's got a Drifloon in the back, so that's pretty much GG. And dying with the charge move, that's too bad. Okay, well, that's a good first round. Let's move on to the second round. Versus Ao Patao. Probably saying that wrong. And a Kadabra. Can't say I've ever seen anyone use that before. I'm not even sure what that fast move is, but either way, Hex is chunking that Kadabra very easily. Comes in with the Ominous Wind. Blocks it, probably would have killed. Now, this could be maybe a Shadow Ball. So I would, yep, good call. Definitely good block. And a Registeel, wow, look at that. So he's just going to keep pumping out these Ominous Winds. Oh, sorry, Shadow Ball. I mean, and he doesn't block it, so that does a good chunk of damage. And Registeel's moves take a while to get to, I'm pretty sure. So he could just keep spamming all these things as much as he wants. Burning shields left and right. And almost kills it, but survives with just a sliver of HP. And that Flash Cannon does a good amount of damage, but I mean, he's still got 2 in the back and a shield, so it'll be okay. And a Chimico. Another interesting pick. And these ghost attacks are gonna hurt a lot. And Steelix coming in is definitely gonna be a good counter for this guy. We come back out with that Kadabra from the beginning with pretty much no health, no shields, and I think you know where this is gonna go. On to the next match of the second round. We have a Mr. Mime. Interesting choice. And it's not only a Mr. Mime, it's a 876 CP Mr. Mime. So I think he could have just used fast moves and got this Mr. Mime all the way down without, yes, couldn't even get a charge move off. But still, burned a shield, so not a big deal. And then here comes Heracross, which this is going to hurt a lot if it goes unshielded. Okay. Shields it, and now he's down to no shields, and I don't think he has to worry about any of Heracross's charge moves, whether it's close combat or Earthquake. I think it resists all of them. So probably didn't even need to shield there. And this is going to hurt, yeah. And then a Mischievous at 1000 CP. Okay, this is definitely gonna one-shot it. Yep, and look at that, taking out the whole team with just a Drifloon. Nice. Okay, we'll go on to round 3. We have another Poliwrath mirror, and it seems as they're both using Mud Shot. Goes for the Dynamic Punch. It's blocked, and now let's see what kind of charge moves he has. I'm guessing Dynamic Punch, seeing as they both use the same amount of charge fast moves. Yep. And you let it go through, knowing that he can get to another one in case. So he'll probably shield this, and then they'll be on an equal footing unless he decides to shield the second one. Doesn't shield it. Now let's see who gets the priority. Yep, so His opponent gets the priority, and he has to decide, am I going to let this Poliwrath go down, or lets it go down? And let's see what he comes in with. Drifloon, yep, not a bad choice. Expecting this to be maybe another Dynamic Punch. Didn't need to shield that, but that's okay. Keep that Drifloon nice and healthy. And a Mawile comes in and does decent damage with Ominous Wind, but that bite is going to be chunking Drifloon pretty hard. Goes for another Ominous Wind. Take another chunk of health out, or shield. Goes for the shield, and he gets the buff. Very nice. Now, yeah, definitely I would hang in here and go for that next Ominous Wind. He probably could have gotten it, but that's okay, because Power Punch is not going to hurt at all. But it will boost the attack on bite by a lot, so you definitely want to take that Mawile out. And he has even enough energy for another Ominous Wind for the incoming Steelix. Nice little switch there. Save that Drifloon for later. To take this crunch from Steelix. And it takes out the Haunter, comes back in with the Drifloon, and go for it. Oh, that was close. Gets that Shadow Ball off. Probably could have even hit Ominous Wind, it would have killed as well. Very nice play there. Switching out into the Haunter, knowing that he needs the Haunter to tank one of those charge moves to keep Drifloon alive. So we have a Haunter versus Poliwrath, and the thing that Haunter's scared of here is probably Hydro Pump, but it's going to take a little while to get to. And yep, just probably going to go for maybe Hydro Pump here. Yep, and he guesses correctly, blocks the Hydro Pump, and should go for a second Shadow Ball, which would either burn both the Poliwrath's shields. Yep, lets the Poliwrath go down and comes in and just, oh, too bad he couldn't get that Shadow Punch off. But now we got Bastiodon versus Poliwrath. He goes for the switch with Marowak, comes in with Drifloon, and this is good because the Marowak is a Fire Spin variant. It's just going to come down to baits, and unfortunately he guesses the bait wrong. But he comes back in with the Poliwrath, charge move ready to go. Dynamic Punch, shields it, good job. Now I think he's going to be going for that Hydro Pump. Yep, gets to it just in time, and this will take out the Marowak for sure. Very nice. Last thing in the back is that Bastiodon. He's still got a shield. This is probably a Stone Edge, because obviously why would you pick Flamethrower? Well, I guess he does. Maybe it only has one move. Because Flamethrower and Stone Edge are the same energy cost, so there's no reason to go for Flamethrower over Stone Edge. Gets that Hydro Pump off to one-shot the Bastiodon. Very nice play. And let's see, we have a third round in this, a third match in this round 3, I should say. Leading with Empoleon into a Drifloon. And Empoleon's charge moves are going to hurt Drifloon if they go unblocked, but there's a good chance he'll block it, and at the same time Drifloon's going to be launching these Ominous Winds off. Let's see. Oh, it goes for the switch. Just to see what he's going to do. Having a little trouble switching there. Decides to go for the Hydro Pump, which would definitely hurt Steelix. I expect to block. Wow, okay. Doesn't block it. And he's just going to almost fast move down this Drifloon here. Comes back in, or comes in with the Drifloon to finish off his opponent's Drifloon. Bastiodon comes in, switches to Poliwrath, good move, and it's his last Pokemon, so he doesn't have to worry about getting countered by switching. And remembered from last time that he didn't hit him with the Stone Edge, so he didn't block the Flamethrower. Very nice. Wouldn't really matter at this point, but he's still got 2 shields, so I mean, let's see if he falls for the bait. And he does. So that's game over for round 3. Very nice plays on that one. And unfortunately, we don't have the footage for round 4. Something happened with that. So we'll move on to round 5, the last round of this tournament. And we start off with the Driftbloom versus a Thunderfang Steelix, which is not going to be good for Driftbloom. And not for most of his team, I don't think. Shadow Ball goes through, very nice. And everything in his team is not going to do too well versus the Steelix. The Empoleon's good, but he has Thunderfang, so just opts to let it go down, doing as much damage as he can. He takes a shield, which is not too bad, but he's probably going to have some energy coming in here. No, switches out the Steelix, goes into Poliwrath with Mudshot, switches out into Haunter. Tries to get that Shadow Ball, doesn't get it in time. Blocks the incoming Hydro Pump, very nice. And decides to bait with a Shadow Punch. Yeah. Oof, that's very unfortunate that he couldn't. Tries to save his Haunter and he gets a submission off, which I don't think I've ever seen anyone use a submission. That's interesting. And unfortunate here too, he should have been pounding that Shadow Punch to get off on the Steelix. Or go for the switch to have the Empoleon tank the crunch. Either way, it goes through. Empoleon comes here with a Flash Cannon. And it will be blocked, because that would probably almost kill Driftbloom. And I'm expecting a Shadow Ball or even an Ominous Wind to come through and finish off the Empoleon. Yep, and that'll do it. That was a rough one, especially because that Steelix had Thunderfang, which was 2 of his Pokemon were weak to. Now we have a Steelix matchup, a Dragon Tail versus Thunderfang, with that stroke-inducing animation. He gets off the first charge move, goes for Crunch, and he blocks it. Nice bait, nice bait. Comes in with the Driftbloom, goes for another Crunch before Driftbloom can even attack. Another block with 2 shields or 0 shields. Let's see how this goes. Another Crunch. This is gonna hurt a little bit. Now, let's see if he goes for the bait. Looks like he's gonna shield either way. Yep, nice call. Shields the Shadow Ball. Go for the Crunch. No, doesn't go for the Crunch. Double shields the Steelix. Now, I think it would have been wiser to just go for the Crunch instead of fainting it down. Maybe not, because he's got no shields left. But he's going to come back in with that Steelix and launch a charge move off right away. Yeah, that was the problem. You needed to either tank that Ominous Wind from the Driftbloom, or you needed to be smashing that Earthquake button as soon as that Steelix was before the Steelix was even coming in. It's unfortunate he died with that much energy. But gets a nice Dynamic Punch off. Steelix goes back out. A Psycho Cut Medicham comes in, gets the Hydro Pump, because Dynamic Punch is not going to be very effective. And this will chunk Medicham down quite a lot, but it's not enough to kill it. Medicham gets a move off of his own. Maybe Psychic. It is Psychic. And here we come in with Gardevoir with the Charm. And he technically won that game, which is great. We lost a little bit of that footage, but he took out the Steelix with the Charm, I believe, and finished it off. So here we go again. We got the Thunderfang Steelix leading versus a Poliwrath. Not a very good matchup for Bob. Shields the Dynamic Punch, and he's getting wrecked by these Thunder Punches. Looks like his opponent was trying to switch, didn't get it off in time, so he gets another Dynamic Punch in, which forces him to shield. Decides to stay in, maybe it was lag. Oh, there he goes, switches out. And gets off the Hydro Pump on an unshielded Driftbloom. That is very nice. And here we go, this should be able to take out, oh, we have one more charge move coming, probably a Shadow Ball. Good shield. Takes out the Driftbloom with fast attacks. Waiting for the next thing to come in. Probably waiting on a switch timer. And Steelix comes in with charge move ready to go. Most likely Crunch, Earthquake would be not very effective. And again, with this Thunderfang, it's going to be hurting a lot. Really needs to get the Steelix out of here. Takes out the Drifloon with the Crunch. Haunter is able to take out the Steelix with a couple fast moves, which is great. Now we're down to the last Pokemon here. Let's see what it is. A Poliwrath. So goes for the Shadow Ball here. And one-shots it. Very nice, very nice. So he takes that round there, and that's all we got for the matches. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you Bobstabs for giving me these video clips to overview, and have a great day.